Thanks for tuning in to Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. Tonight's episode is brought to you by none other than Retired Rockstar. At Retired Rockstar, they celebrate the spirit of those who never lost their edge. They craft bold, timeless fashion accessories for men over the age of 45. Check out the authenticity of the brand at retiredrockstarbrand.com. Retired Rockstar, live loud, stay legendary. Peace. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. Today, I have the absolute pleasure. This is my first time meeting this woman. She is Daphney Thomas. She is founder of, is it pronounced NCBAE? Is that how
Yeah,
you do the abbreviation?
we do. We do
NCB,
NCBAE.
NCBAE. Okay, that's what it's. I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to mess it up. I do thank you for taking the time. I've heard so much about you from one gentleman. I got a shout out to RH Valentino. Tino put me on to some of the work that you guys are doing, and he recommended I have you on here. And it's been a few months. I tried to get in touch with him the last time I was in town, and I was hounding him like, man, I'm trying to get with you so you can put me on to her. And so ultimately, I think I just sent you a DM on Facebook, but here
Yeah.
you are. Here you are. I do really appreciate you taking the time. Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then we'll dive into the stuff that you do.
Yeah. Oh, so first I want to shout out Valentino as well. Like
Hmm.
I said, just a great brother, a great friend, and a great person in this work that we're doing here locally and nationally, just across the board with the things that he does as well in the arts and entertainment industry. So shout out to him for making this connection. Um,
Definitely.
Thank you to you for having me on your platform. So to get straight into it, who am I? I'm Daphney. I am a woman, a mother, a partner, a friend, a sister, a me. I'm
Hmm.
myself. I'm a being first and foremost. A very spiritual being. At my core, I'm a woman who sees people. Like I feel like I really see people. I believe in the power of art to heal, to
Hmm.
connect, and to shift the world around us. I move through life kind of guided by the principles of purpose, community, and being devoted to creating spaces where we can come feel seen, heard, valued, and where we can just be. So yeah, that's just just a little about
Okay.
me and who I am.
I
Um,
love that. I
at
love
my
that.
core.
I love that. And so what first drew you to the arts? Like what was the moment that would become like sort of your life's work, so to speak now?
Um, Really, it would be, I would say, back in like 2009, maybe. Well, no, before that. So picking
Hmm.
up a paintbrush and working with Robert O'Neill and his family, painting faces around the city is what really, honestly, woke that up inside of me. Um,
Hmm.
this was back in maybe 2006. My son was
Okay.
very young. And so I did that with him and his family for some years. And mind you, I was no artist. He literally put a paintbrush in my hand and schooled me. And I got to sit beside this man
Hmm.
and learn from him. And that was a very powerful and pivotal time in my life. And it was him that told me to go to the Taft Museum and check out their
Hmm.
Young Artist in Residence program. Um, and I did that. And then a friend had put a bug in my ear, like, maybe you should apply for that position. And I
Right.
did that. And now it's, over 20 years in. And
Okay.
but as of this work with NC Bay, it was just really
Yeah.
born out of both frustration and vision,
Hmm.
and how the Black artists were, being isolated or undervalued, and knowing that we deserve more. And so I took all of my
Absolutely.
experience working in the arts and the arts industry here locally, paired
Hmm.
up with life lessons that I've learned and professional experience from other jobs and. Um, Formed this in 2020, right before the pandemic, had it on ice
Hmm.
for a couple years, and December 2023 is when it really kicked off. We got into a space, and it's been history
Okay.
ever since.
Okay. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Now, tell me, like, when you first had the inspiration for the organization, can you tell me a little bit of details about like because I like to keep it really, really conversational. Like I said, when I was when I was messaging you previously, what was going on with you at that moment? Like you said, you were frustrated. Like
Yeah.
what was there some things that happened? Was stuff that sparked that or?
Yeah, it was if I'm remembering correctly, it was like the social justice stuff had just like kicked off
Hmm.
right before the pandemic. And again, just seeing like while I had wonderful working experiences at these organizations and great personal experiences, I don't allow that to trump like the collective experience that a lot of us have and that I started to learn about both from artists and arts admins. Um,
Hmm.
that were just having just crappy experiences. And I'm like, I got experience in, running a small nonprofit, a membership based nonprofit. I got experience in
Hmm.
doing dope events and pulling together programming. And it was like, hey, let me pull together the best of what I know, the best of who I am, and the best of who I know.
Hmm.
Let's see what tables we can build together. So that was like that spark that began to blow.
Okay.
But again, that was like I said, but right before the pandemic, social
Right, right, right.
stuff, and I had to put it on ice for a little bit. But like
Hmm.
I said, December of 2023, after leaving a job that I really love, going back to
Hmm.
work, and then having them, kill the department, I was like, this must be the time for me to really breathe life into this organization and give birth. And this was the project that of mine that I decided to pull off the shelf and really
Hmm.
dive all the way into and devote myself to and to give everything that I've given to organizations and other projects and people, give it all to this. And so this is where we are. It has led me
Gotcha.
to speak with
Now
you.
it right, right. Okay. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what was your work previously to doing this organization?
Okay. Like I said, I've worked in the arts here locally. I work for like, a museum here, the Taft Museum.
Hmm.
I work for Arts Wave. I sit on some committees for like the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. I'm on the
You
committee.
about that life, huh?
I'm about life.
Okay.
And working directly under somebody like Mr. O'Neill for
Okay.
those years and having him be one of my mentors and my community fathers. That's top
Gotcha.
tier right there in itself.
Right, 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 right. Okay, that's good stuff. And then it's being in Cincinnati. I was born and raised in Cincinnati. Being in Cincinnati, for me, I was always frustrated as a creative as well, coming
Mhm.
from the hip hop community. And that's
Mhm.
kind of how me and Valentino knew each other. But it was always frustrating for me. For you, how has that shaped your vision for the initiative of what NCBAE does?
Yeah, just basically like
Like
being,
just basically geographically being
yeah,
from Cincinnati and doing that organization in Cincinnati. Yeah.
yeah,
How do you think the city has shaped that vision? Do you
yeah.
think it would be any different anywhere else?
I don't. I think that the issues that we see here are not just specific to Cincinnati. Do I
Hmm.
believe there are places that are quote unquote more progressive and of course have more things going on that are, black led and people here typically go out of town to feel like, with that mentality that that's what they need to do to make it. Um,
Hmm.
but however, like I said, it doesn't mean that we only are the ones that have certain issues. But
Hmm.
Cincinnati definitely has given me both my roots and my reason.
Hmm.
It's where I saw the gaps and imagined new possibilities. It shaped me to serve, to
Hmm.
lead with my heart, and to create platforms that our community can stand proudly on. So,
Hmm. Okay. I gotta get to one of your events next time I'm in the area. I really do because since I start following you, since he had mentioned you to me, I've been just seeing some of the stuff that you've been posting. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, but shit, I'm not gonna be in town. Like, and
well, you
then
got to
like,
tell me when you in town,
yeah,
so I
I
can,
most definitely will, most definitely will. But then I saw the one from yesterday. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna be in town the week before that, but I'm going right back out of town when that happens. But that's just me. I do want to come and check out one of the events because I've seen great things just watching you from afar on social media, and then I've heard great things, like I say. Tell me, like starting an organization, like as I'm a business owner as well, and then I also have a nonprofit. But so tell the people that are listening and the people that are watching on YouTube, what kind of challenges have you faced starting
Mhm.
the nonprofit? And
Mhm.
and from what I see, a successful nonprofit. What were some of the challenges that you faced getting it started?
Yeah, let's see. One of the biggest things I can say is being deeply seen. I feel like we're seen because people are always watching, but not like fully supported. Having the vision, but constantly, having to prove its value, and more specifically, like, applying for grants and
Hmm.
from grant-based organizations, from foundations and,
Right.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say, that's really been it. I'm a team of one. I have a wonderful board, and they show up in the many different ways that they're able to. But
Hmm.
definitely being a team of one can be overwhelming at times. So
100%.
I really make sure that I am using my time wisely, knowing when to step away, because I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
I can be doing this all day long. Now that we have computers, aka phones, I can be laying in
Right.
bed and I'm up
And
3 and
still working, right, right.
still working. It's like, put your
Yeah,
phone down.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the challenge, like turning my mind off and really like re what am I saying? Reminding myself like to take care of
Hmm.
myself, to step away before I burn out and have, blow a spark. But I would say that funding piece
Hmm.
majorly. Um,
Okay, yeah. So we're I want to touch on something you said, but let me ask this real quick. Now, as far as like the grant writing, a lot of people hire grant writers, and a lot of people just learn how to write their own grants.
yeah.
What was your route?
My route was learning based off of, I've always been on the other side of grant making. So I sit on committees where I'm reviewing grants and helping to determine where funds go, or,
Right.
giving feedback. And so on the other end of that, it could have been pride or whatever, but for me, it always felt like
Hmm.
grants was like begging
Right.
because you
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
these
yeah.
questions. In fact, how many different ways are you about to ask me is when I'm doing
Hmm.
valuable or making impact? And to me, that never
Right.
sat well with
Got
me.
you.
But definitely learning as I went, and as I am still going, what
Hmm.
that looks like on the side of, somebody who has to make a case for why somebody should, give us funding and support us in that way. And sometimes it's a stretch and a no, and sometimes I get it and I'm like, damn, I thought I didn't do pretty good on that application.
Right.
Those be the ones that I get it for. So, um,
Right. I've
does
heard
that
that
answer
from a
the
few.
question?
I've heard that from a few other women. Yeah, that does answer the question.
Okay, I
I've
feel like
actually
that's
heard
my
that.
rambling.
Yeah, no, no, you're not rambling at all. That's I've heard that from a few other black women that have gotten some grants for their nonprofits, where they said that the ones that they felt strongly about didn't cut it, and then on the flip side of that, the ones that they thought didn't cut it got it. So
Yeah.
it's funny how that works out. I do want to ask you about something you said a few minutes ago when you were talking about kind of what I consider to be self-care, like being a board of one. You know what I mean? A committee of one. You do have to take time for self-care. And I talk about that a lot on my platform. If you haven't watched it, that I to kind of get into that, how we as entrepreneurs, how we as creatives do
Mhm.
still need to take that time to step back, and how we need to take care of ourselves. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying they just need to recalibrate. So it's like, okay, we're gonna pause. And this is someone I'm working on a project with. So it's kind of like I'm managing the project, and then the person who's the primary just needed to take a break.
Yeah.
But it's good to have like even working with the team is good to have that. What I have with this particular situation is a good rapport enough to know that everybody considers everybody's well-being,
Yeah.
because you're going so hard all the time. Like you said, you can still be in bed, you're working from your iPhone or your Android phone, and you're still able to do everything. So your mind's not really shutting down. So
Yes.
so that's something I had to really work on. I still struggle with it today because it'll be like midnight and I'm like, just a couple more minutes. And then the next thing I know, it's like 3 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, I get that, and I'm glad you touched on that, because I always want to have a little bit of those gems in there for the people that listen to the podcast and people that watch it on YouTube. Um, uh, we did already touch on a little bit of kind of how what you're doing with the community with NC Bay, but I wanted to say, because I read this, you got a community connection grant.
Yes.
Right, right, right. Congratulations on that. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Round of applause. That's what's up. Tell me what that means for your organization.
Yeah, it means that someone actually, a group of people actually, sees our work, and believes in it enough to invest,
Hmm.
put their money, their dollars, their
Right.
hard-earned dollars, behind the work that we're doing, which is everything, when you're used to doing so much with so little.
Hmm.
Um, Personally, I think it affirms that, women supporting women is not just a slogan, but a force that, can really move mountains. So shout out to
Right.
the ladies of Women 100, Casey and her dream team and her dream of, bringing women together to invest in people that are out in the communities at grassroots levels or that are not, big organizations, but are still making big and meaningful impact.
Definitely. Shout out to those ladies. What were those names again?
Yeah, so the organization is called Women 100, and this was their
Hmm.
first grant cycle.
Okay.
And so Casey is the founder, and then she has a team of powerful women with her that are out here putting their money where their mouth is, and also where their heart is, and doing the work to make contributions, cash infusions into organizations that are making impact in many different aspects of life.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I learn something new every day. And I
Yeah.
love that. You all focus with NCBAE, you work with a lot of creatives. How do you see like with the arts community in Cincinnati and in any other area that you work in? How do you see the arts community supporting mental wellness?
Um, I'm starting to see more and more programs that are connecting art and to mental health and wellness, and also mental
Hmm.
health and wellness is being connected to many other different things as well, right? Because it starts in people, in us, in human life is cannot be compartmentalized. I think that we're
Right,
back to that original way, that those ancient ways of seeing humans as holistic beings, right? Um,
right.
so like some of the things that we do here, so I'm a certified art therapy practitioner. And that just goes into alignment with just who I am. I've life coached people, I've held healing circles and spiritual development, courses and sessions. And I think that also plays into mental health as well, because it reminds us that we are total beings and whole beings, and that we need to learn how to slow down and really focus on that self-care. And
Hmm.
I think that, using art as a way to do that is the perfect tool, because art the creative process is literally drawing from what's within you, whether what's in
Hmm.
your mind's eye. No matter what you're creating, if you're building a table or a car, or you're going to put something on paper, it's coming from within you. And I think that, our internal ecosystems have lots and lots of things that are going on at the same time now more than ever. So to be able to use art as a positive tool to
Hmm.
help you get some of that stuff out, is powerful. And I see lots and lots of organizations now, using that as a method to help people cope, whether if it's in the workplace or at home, or, you know, um,
Hmm.
even walking into certain office spaces. Sometimes they'll have the little squeezy balls
Right, 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 right.
counter, and you're able
Hmm.
to pick those up and squeeze them while you
Yeah.
wait. I think it's because we're
De-stress
all
real
starting to
quick.
be
Yeah.
conscious that de-stressing is a real thing, and especially after the pandemic.
Hmm.
um,
100%.
I think more people are coming online and understanding that we are holistic beings. Mental health affects every aspect of our lives, and that art is a great way to help people cope and express creatively the things that are on inside of them.
That's what's up. I'm getting the education today. Well, that's what's up. Now hold on, I'm gonna back up now because you just dropped so
Okay.
much. You just dropped so much science on me. You said you are a certified what now?
A certified art therapy practitioner.
Talk
Yep.
about that. Let's break the script. Talk about that. Tell me
So,
what that is.
so basically, I went
Or
through.
tell my listeners what that is. I have an idea, but for those uninitiated, break it down for them.
So I am not a therapist by any, means, shape, or form, however you say that saying.
Me neither. The show is just called Music Therapy and Motivation. Me neither, but good to you.
So basically, I took this. It was still very rigorous online course. Um, where I literally studied and read and had to learn different art techniques, different ways of, working with clients to help identify what they were expressing on, whatever medium they are using or are going to use to help them break. So we don't diagnose. What we do is help them express, and then we help people walk through what they have expressed, to help them get a better understanding of what's going on inside of them internally, and then
Mm,
also creating space for them to get some of that stuff out. So basically,
okay.
that's what art therapy is just using art as a in-depth and comprehensive tool to help heal.
Okay. Now, I've actually attended some kind of like art therapy sessions, but it was kind of like a group therapy, like a art
Mhm.
therapy session. Do you do like it in groups or you do like private sessions?
It could be group, it could be private. All depends on what I want to do for
Hmm.
that session, or what people ask me to do.
Okay. Okay. That's good stuff. All right. All right. Getting to know you, getting to know you. All right, all right, all right, all right. Moving right along. Moving right
Okay.
along. Okay, that's good. No, that's good stuff though. I'm being facetious. That's good stuff. It really is. So tell me about any and what type of youth initiatives you have within NCBAE.
Yeah, so let's see. We have several. What we're gearing up for next month, this will be our second year doing it, is the free summertime breakfast, kids breakfast and art program. And so this was born out of me literally sitting in my space down here in OTR in Cincinnati. Before we had
Hmm.
any furniture or anything in here, I would just sit on the step with the door open, and I would see the kids, go to this corner store all day long, eating they, hot flamings and they Takis and honey buns and everything else.
Hmm.
And then, by the time I'm leaving, it's, drama. And so I know,
Mm,
I think we know, and I think everybody else is becoming more aware that there is a correlation between hunger and violence. Um,
hmm.
Hunger, and I think we've accepted more collectively that hunger and learning, hunger is a major barrier to learning. Then in
Right.
the summertime, you already got summer learning loss with these kids. And so I was like, you know what, I need to do something about it. I need to be a part of the solution. These all our kids, those
Hmm.
are my babies out there. Um, and so I'm like, okay, get some breakfast, feed them. Then I'm like, okay, if they ain't got no breakfast, then I'm pretty sure I don't know what they gonna eat for lunch, if they even got lunch. So it started like
Hmm.
that, literally. They get to come in, they get breakfast, they get a bag lunch, and they are able to sit and do some art. So this summer we've enhanced the program. We got some funding, a little bit of funding, and we're able to expand into two different neighborhoods. So we'll be in a Lower Price Hill, and we'll be in the West End, and
Okay.
we'll be able to work with actual artists. So they get to do doper stuff than just coming in and cutting out hearts and stuff like that with me.
That's dope. That's dope. That's
They get
real
to work
dope.
with some actual artists and do some, more
Okay.
thought out, projects and stuff. And then we also get
Hmm.
to serve more and make greater impact. We have some wonderful partners that are going to be present on site. Poppy's Corner, which is a mental health
Hmm.
organization with some
I'm
therapy.
familiar. I'm familiar. Yeah.
Black Women Cultivating Change will be present as well at some of the sessions, so that we can begin to reach the parents through working with the children, and just be there, first and foremost, just to be there, to be present, to be a space that's safe, and also to help connect families to to those resources if they feel like that's something that they can use to help them further along in their development and lives. So
That's
working,
really dope.
get them connected to any benefits, food stamps, or whatever that they may need, to where you ain't got to come to the breakfast program because of a need. I mean, you can still come if you want to
Mm.
come and have fun and hang out and
Right, right, right.
do art, but definitely to help people get connected to the resources that they need, to where they can have what
Okay.
you're supposed to have at home. So
That's really dope. So let me make sure I heard you correct. You said that you currently do that now in OTR, and then now you're going to be
last
expanding to the
summer,
West End and then
yep,
Price Hill.
yep. So this summer, next month, actually in a couple days.
Yes, yeah, for real, for real. It's
Time
coming.
is flying.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it here in OTR a day. We'll do a day in um, West End and a day in the Lower Price Hill. So for the month of June, we do it 3 days a week. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's
and then
dope.
so
That's dope.
in addition to that, we have teachers entrepreneurship with Startup Stars, Youth Entrepreneurship Academy. We have a program where we teach kids how to problem solve and become conflict resolution and peer mediators called Peace Pals. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, last summer we took families on curated bus tours, Black arts and culture tours. So, Gino, I mean, we eliminated the barriers of transportation and cost, and families could come get on the bus. We picked them up in their neighborhoods.
Solutions. I
We're space
like it.
where they already going. We went into Avondale, Lower Price Hill, West End, OTR, and we went
Mhm.
around to like the Taft Museum, Cincinnati Art Museum. That was really dope because they had the hip hop exhibit going on.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
you get to see that?
I didn't get to see it. I was
Oh,
not.
it was
I was not fortunate enough to see it. No, I was not.
okay.
Now, if there's any video out there, I'll be damn sure willing to check it out. If there's
Yeah.
anything on YouTube for it.
If you scroll through our like Instagram, you'll be able to see some of it and some of the tours and stuff too. We had a lot of fun.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do
Yeah.
that. And then also after we wrap this, do me a favor and send me the links for all of your stuff, and I'll
Okay.
post those in the YouTube description and on the podcast RRS feed, so that
Awesome.
everybody has ways to contact you and tap in with everything that you got going on.
Okay.
Um, that's dope stuff though that you what you're doing there for the youth. And then like I say, that to me that's solutions based thinking. You're eliminating the excuses, you're eliminating the barriers and making things happen. That's really dope. That's really,
Yeah.
really dope.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes
really
you just
dope.
need to be invited into these spaces from people that you know in the community because we often have it can be perceived, reasons why we don't go into spaces. It could be from having, actual experiences that were not favorable going into these spaces. And sometimes
Hmm.
it has to take somebody to be like, come on, we can go in here. You are welcome in here. Just you can be wherever you want to be.
Right, right,
And
right.
there's Black art in there. There's Black artists. But in addition to that, I was very intentional to be like, yeah, we're going to connect them to the Black faces in these spaces and the Black artists. But it's also just a pathway to art, period.
Right,
Right.
right.
We're big enough to learn about ourselves first and foremost, but everybody else too. We can expand our vision. You know what I mean? We can do stuff. We can do Monet. We can do Rembrandt. We can do all of this.
Hmm. That's
Um,
dope.
but definitely,
Yeah.
like, being that pathway, because sometimes people live in the community and never go into the institutions that are in their community. And so I'm like,
Right,
it's enough of that. And
right, right,
exposure is
right.
everything, though, right? Like exposing your kids to different things is what helps your family grow. What helps the
100%. Yeah.
kids can grow up with a bigger world view if we expose them now.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. That's man, I wish we had something like that when I was growing up. 'Cause, yeah, that's for real, that's dope. So like it sounds like you're building bridges. So
Yes,
collaboration within the mission is the collaboration and the connections with other entities. How important is that to NCBAE?
man, it's
To you
vital.
personally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk about
vital.
that a little bit.
Again, being the primary, I guess what we would call staff person or whatever,
Hmm.
the driver of this thing. I know sometimes I need to get other people in this ship with me when we, exploring.
Right, right, right.
That's why it's relationships, right? And
Yeah,
sometimes
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let other people drive. And for me, it's like partnerships are everything, and alignment, first of all, is everything. Um,
Hmm.
Sometimes we say often, well, some things just take time, and yeah, it can do because it got to take time for alignment to happen. But once
Hmm.
there's alignment, things can happen in the blink of an eye, right?
Like
Things
that,
can
like
take
that.
when you in the right alignment. There's synergy, and everything is just the stars are just like, yeah, it's time. So those
Hmm.
partnerships are the ones that are like super exciting because it can happen overnight. There's less the things that can happen. Group dynamics is real, getting
Hmm.
along with people and all that type of stuff. But when it's alignment, it's like, oh, bam, say less. You got that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
stuff. So I try to do things, especially now that we're a year in. Um, I'm spending even more time now that I did like the program in the first year to really show people like, okay, we got the programming, and now it's
Hmm.
like get back to being intentional about making the relationships and the partnerships. Like
Right.
connecting with other people and organizations that are in alignment with, our mission and what we're doing and what we believe in is
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I believe in being strategic about it. And I believe in being authentic, and I practice being authentic in really all the things that I do. So
Mm-hmm.
partnerships and collaborations are what help drive this thing.
Okay, definitely. Now, speaking of authenticity, so you work with institutions like Cincinnati Opera,
Hmm.
but you also have the grassroots. How do you balance the authenticity within the institutional type of partnership relationships?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's not a balance, because that creates the polarity, but a nice swirl of
Hmm.
trust, constant communication, making sure that we never lose the soul of the work while learning to speak the languages of the systems. So, working with certain, bigger nonprofits, you sometimes you have to know that language versus working with another grassroots organization like, NCBAE, or,
Hmm.
and I might have a more cordial relationship. That language can be different. So it's like having
Right, right, right.
both worlds and understanding how to speak all of the languages. Um, and knowing how to speak a different language doesn't mean that you've changed who you are at the core of who you are.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so being able
Um,
to still
yeah.
show up authentically in whatever space that I'm in. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I asked that question specifically because us as a people, a lot of times when we see someone making a strategic move, what's good for business, it's not hurting the community, but they look at it as, oh, well, you're working with them. Are you really with us? I've
Mm.
I've personally seen that. How can you work with them but be for us?
Mm-hmm.
When say for example that organization has really never done anything for us, but now
Mm.
you're working with them, how can you be for us? Not, I'm not saying that that's what you've experienced. I'm just
Right.
saying I've seen it happen, and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand the distinction between the two, and that's why I wanted to get you to speak to
Yeah.
that a little bit.
And that just made me think, like, you're working with them. Remember what you say? You're working
You're
with them
working with them and they've never done anything good for
for
us,
us. Okay.
but now you're working with them, so how can you really be for us?
Yeah. Well, it's like, well, let's zero in on the work that I'm doing with them.
Right.
I mean, just hypothetically, like, is the
Mhm.
work that we're doing, is that keeping us at the center? Is it centering our people, our stories, our voices?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just a thought that came to
Yeah,
mind.
I mean, I personally get it, but some people don't seem to get it because I've seen this question posed in real life,
Mm,
like within the last year or so. But I
mm,
mean, I get it. I understand what you're doing. Um, and
mhm,
you have to do that. You have to have strategic partnerships. And again, as I used to say, you got a code switch. So, like you said, you have more cordial relationships where you can have more plain dialogue, but then you also have to adapt to the system because we have to operate within the system if we want to get ahead and grow our businesses to service said community that we're trying to service.
mm,
I get that, but a lot of people may not get that.
mhm.
Um, but I ain't gonna stick on that too long. But I do I do want to know what advice would you give to a young black girl, like especially a creative black girl, uh, trying trying to trying to find her voice, trying to build something.
Mhm. Uh,
Like as an example, obviously any youth that you're working with, they would know that just by being around you or being, in your orbit. But
mhm.
for my listeners, what advice would you give to a
Yeah.
young black girl trying to
Oh,
find her voice, trying to build something
okay.
powerful?
To a girl, okay, I would say definitely start where you are, use what you have. Don't wait for permission to tell your story or to put what's inside of you that you're creating, putting it out there. Don't wait for permission to put it out there. Um,
Hmm.
I would say you are already good enough. I would say don't let society tell you that you are an over emotional creature, or that because you might experience emotions just like the next human, whether
Hmm.
or female, human, does that makes you any less. Um,
Right.
that your femininity is a strength and that you can pull from both sides of yourself, and not to let anybody diminish you or use that as a tool to lessen what you're doing, or tell you that you should be either, that because you're this, you should be that you determine
Hmm.
for yourself as a young woman what that means, and that you are sovereign first and foremost over your femininity or masculinity. You can choose to be sovereign. I would say just keep going. There's going to be times where you are afraid, where you don't know what you're doing. I guess they call that imposter syndrome.
Hmm.
like,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
I don't even know what I'm doing for real. And at 41, with all the experience that I've had, I still find myself sometimes, talking to my partner like, I don't know why they asked me. I don't know.
I know, right?
I don't know what I'm doing here. Sometimes I'm just showing
like
up.
I just showed up. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. You have those moments, and in those moments, you just pause and give yourself
Yeah,
a break, because right, you probably feel like you don't know because your brain is being overworked anyway.
that's that right there.
That part,
Boom.
right?
You got to give yourself some grace,
Some grace.
especially for what we were saying previously when you're the leader of the charge. You're the primary, the dominant factor, and occasionally you have assistance from a team. But when it's all on you, yeah.
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 Ooh.
Yeah.
Last thing I would say to her and to really anybody
Hmm.
else that's doing this, and I'm gonna speak to anybody.
Go
Um,
for it.
Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you first and foremost, that see your brilliance, and that believe in what you're doing.
Hmm.
They're gonna always remind you to take care of yourself. Um, make sure you go get something to eat. Make sure you put your phone down. But they're gonna also say, it could have been another way you said that to that person,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
maybe you might
Yeah.
step away from that email. I know they pissed you off, but remember the bigger picture that's at hand. And you don't want to put that out there because people got their eyes on you, regardless if you see them watching or not. Um,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that part.
Yes.
I would definitely
Yes.
creatives out here. Everything you put out here,
You
people,
you don't have to respond to everything in that moment.
you don't.
You do not.
And it
You do
is what you
not.
do want to curate. You want to be who you are, but you want to curate yourself in a positive, polished light as much as possible. My mother would always tell me and my sister when we were younger, and me, I feel like she told me a little bit more because I was the older, but she would always say,
Hmm.
do things with style and grace.
Yes. My grandmother was like that. Yes. Yes.
Do things with style and grace. And I hear
Yeah.
admire all the time. When you're younger,
Hmm.
you cleaning up, you throw the pillow down any kind of way, or it's
Right.
stuff with style and grace, and that has stuck with me, and I do
Yes.
my best.
We try. We all try. And then ultimately we succeed. But
Yeah,
like you say, sometimes we have that moment like, I don't even know what I'm doing. But we succeed. We succeed in
yeah.
spite of those thoughts. That's that man, I can have you talk about that for a long time, but I
I
know
know
you're
we
on I
could
know
just go
you're on
down
the clock.
that
That
road.
rabbit hole is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, dealing with people's perceptions, like because
Get
you got to
get
do all
give
that.
it give that 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Give that 5 minutes. Talk about it. Talk about
This
it.
perception is, but what's the saying? Perception is reality or something.
Perception is reality.
Yeah, because you're dealing with how many people on this planet, are the billions of different
8
realities
billion.
existing at the same time. And we can be sitting, and I was watching something went through my feed that said something like people can be sitting right next to each other, see the same thing happen, but perceive it in two different ways. That's because we are our
Yep.
own worlds within worlds with different
Mm.
things that have printed upon our beings, different experiences that we've had that help shape and mold how we perceive, how we see things, right? And so
Right.
when people are looking at you, what you're posting on social media, how you're dressing, and the things that you say on platforms, of course, it has to go through the filter of what they've experienced in life, the trauma they've had,
Hmm.
the triumphs they had, how they were raised. So we never really, unless we've done some like real life work on ourselves to help shift that perception to more based off of what is reality, people are going to see all kinds of ways. And that's
Hmm.
something you cannot control, but you can control how you are positioning yourself and how you are projecting yourself out into this 3D world that we're in. So that's what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then another thing, for people who are listening and watching, if you're watching on YouTube or at least listening on the podcast network, is there's always somebody watching.
Yeah.
You could trick yourself out of opportunities by just posting triggerous stuff or just behaving badly, and you don't even know. You could, just like when jobs first started monitoring people's social media. Well, I'm not gonna hire that person. They ratchet online.
Mhm.
Now there's opportunities, especially when you're in business. And I don't care whether you're a singer or a songwriter selling music. I don't care whether you're a nonprofit owner providing a service to the community, or you're just strictly in business for profit. You're trying to get the money. When you do certain stuff online, as you were saying, yes, people are perceiving it differently, but you're also maybe blocking some potential opportunities and blessings for yourself and your business because you're behaving badly online. I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people think about that either in the context of what you were saying.
Yeah, and even in our, relationships that we have with people. So just imagine like people, saying your name in rooms where there are opportunities, being presented, and you have a bad relationship, or they know somebody who you have a bad relationship with. You have a reputation for being immature, or you
Right.
don't even know how you can't respond to emails correctly, or you're always late, or you don't produce a good
Hmm.
product, or you always, emotional in times where you need to really have a cool head. Like those
Hmm.
things matter. So yes, we see people like, Donald Trump being the president of the United States. I mean, that's an extreme. But also you see people like Cardi B, who I think has made her 15 minutes that she is lasting a long ass time. And I
She
love that.
did. She did.
Is she's
She is. Not she did. She is.
who she is, but she
Right.
knows who her audience is as well.
Right. Right. Right.
And she's ended up in some spaces where it's like, oh damn, okay.
Hmm.
So I never want to tell people like not be who you are. I think there's a fine line between like being who you are authentically and just being any kind of way and not caring about how you're carrying yourself and presenting
With
yourself
no style and grace.
with no style and grace. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's style and grace is important. And also, being who you are, but no, not but being who you are and continuously growing and developing
Yes. Yes.
um,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
better
Yeah.
is always a good thing. So
Right. I don't even want to hang around people that's not developing and growing. I can't do it. But that's just me. I can't do
too
it.
many problems come with that.
Absolutely. This is just the way that I am. Well, do that. Go do that.
Don't do that over
Go do that.
there, because
Go
over
do
here
it. Yeah.
we're growing, we're
We're
developing
growing. Yeah, we are evolving beings. Every day we're evolving.
every
Every day I self-evaluate what
mm,
areas I need to improve, what areas I need to work on myself, where I might have fell a little short that day. And I try to work on that every day, but it takes emotional maturity to be that way.
yeah,
You
mature,
know.
and that means growing up. A lot of us are just kids in grown up bodies.
Hmm.
Um, And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for those that we're raising. It's unfortunate for, individuals and the collective period. Um, we used to have rites of passages and all those type of things that help us mark
Hmm. Right.
time,
Milestones. Yeah.
those milestones, like you said, in our lives where we reached a certain level of understanding and growth, and we began to leave behind those childish pieces of ourselves. We
Right.
don't have that in the same way anymore. Now, like, I don't know, what would you say is a rite of passage these days? Something wild and crazy, like,
It's hard to even tell anymore. It's different now. You know what I mean? I don't even know anymore.
yeah,
I really don't. I don't even know anymore. Um, I know we got to wrap. So let me just ask you last couple of things. Any upcoming events, projects, or any visions that's not too being tightly wrapped up that you want to tell the listeners and the people about? This is going to air probably, it'll air in a couple of weeks. I got a few already in the can. So this will air in a couple of weeks. So this will air before June. Yes.
Okay, it'll air before June. I'll just put out there that so we do a monthly artist showcase called Canvas Noir, and it's
Hmm.
where we give artists of all different genres the space, meaning our national office here in Cincinnati, to come in
Hmm.
and transform the space into their experience. So we've hosted visual artists, we had a designer, we've had a hairstylist, which was really dope.
Okay.
Came in. She's an MUA too. She did some makeup demos. We had a hair show up in here. We had a spoken word artist and so on and so
Mm.
on. This month, May 24th, 3 to 5, we have Canvas Noir. We're featuring Dale Gold, who's a hip hop artist. So he's going to do like a mini listening party, some Q&A, and he's going to perform a few pieces. So that's monthly. It's always free.
Hmm.
It's our opportunity to come out and support local artists,
Does
buy.
that take place at your space there?
It takes place at our space here, 123
Okay.
East Macon. Next month, June 14th, from 12 to 5, we have our annual Midwest Regional Black Culture Fest, which is formerly the Sweet and Natural Fest. I say that all the time because I don't want people to forget. And also that this is year 9. So it hasn't gone away. We went away that year for pandemic, but it's been going strong since 2016. And it's a celebration of Black joy and excellence. And so we have
Oh,
vendors,
and
DJ.
what date is that one? What date is that?
June 14th, which is a Saturday, from
Okay.
12 to 5 at Washington Park, 123 Elm Street, here in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's free, open to the public, family friendly, all are welcome. Resource booths, vendors, we got a couple food trucks.
I
We have,
might be able to make that one.
please do.
I think I could make that one.
It's a wonderful celebration. We have the Culture Rush Fashion Show, the Sweet and Natural Hair Show. We'll have the Cincinnati Opera. We'll have Lalo Vavi, which is their Afrofuturist play, Afrofuturist opera
Hmm.
that's coming in 2026. So we're going to give some preview into that. We're playing some music from it. And just so many, we have a skater presentation. This is going to be really
Okay.
as it's been. And again, it's free, open to all. Yeah, everybody, we encourage, people to come and enjoy themselves, bring your lawn chairs, support the vendors. We have a tech booth, some literacy stuff, some health and
Mm.
wellness stuff. It's just a holistic event catering to all aspects of our lives. So financial literacy with the Black Money Matters panel. So we
Hmm.
go there.
Okay. And I can get that information by going to your website, right?
So we say go to our Instagram. Quite
Okay. Instagram. And what's the
yeah.
Instagram?
If you want to see our work in real time, go to IG, NCBAE 2020. It's just easier for me to upload things as they're happening in real time versus getting in the
Gotcha.
website, which is WordPress, and I am not savvy like that. A general overlook of who we are, go to the website. It's like a
Gotcha.
business card, but like us on
Okay.
the socials if you want to get in contact and really see the work and the impact that we're having in real time.
Okay. Perfect. 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 And if somebody wanted to get involved, join, support,
Yeah,
where
that's
would they
on
do that at?
the website.
Okay. If they want to put some money up, go to the website. Y'all heard?
PayPal gonna collect them couple dollars.
Okay. Okay. And what's the website again?
The website is www.ncbae.org. Again, it's the National Commission for Black Arts and Entertainment. Our mission is to convene, connect, and celebrate Black people in the arts and entertainment industry. We do that through our community impact pillars of service, education, and community engagement. So two-pronged work, right? We use the one side deals more in the arts and entertainment as being a bridge builder for the genres. That's one
Hmm.
thing that doing my research and from my experience is what sets NCBAE apart from other arts organizations. People typically stick within their group. So theater people with theater people, music people, and so on and so on.
Right.
We're building that bridge to bring everybody together. We're creating this creative ecosystem. So I want people to join NCBAE, be a part of the network, be a part of this ecosystem, come to the annual conference, walk away edified, feeling empowered with your whole team.
Hmm.
Now, right? So that's, conference is coming in 2026 in the spring. Stay
Okay.
that. Now, on the other side of that is like we talked about earlier, using art as a tool for social and community impact and change. So that's like the Breakfast and Art program,
Hmm.
Canvas, not Canvas Noir, but the Breakfast and Art program, taking the families on the bus arts and cultural tours, and a myriad of other programs that we do. So you can find that information about joining NCBAE on the website again,
Okay.
www.ncbae.org. Join us. Like it's going to take us all, regardless of what's happening in this world and what resources are being taken away. We truly have
Hmm.
everything we need inside of us. And if we can learn to work together collaboratively, a lot of stuff, I ain't going to cuss on your platform, but a lot of stuff,
Go, go.
a lot of
This is
shit won't even
uncensored.
matter, Gino.
Yeah, I know, right?
Being a damn thing because
Yeah.
I can be on your platform, you can be on mine. We can pull together resources. I can do this for you, you can do that for me, and we can build
Yes.
together
Yes.
and keep pushing culture forward and keep being creatives and doing what we got to do to continue to be the magnificent beings that we are and express ourselves in the way that only we can. So
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. You kind of gave me a bunch of gems, but I gotta ask, like, if you got a mantra, a quote, or like a parting, like a tagline that you go by or that excites you. Like I say stuff to myself in the morning with my affirmations, but what do you got for the people?
what's one of yours?
Live loud and stay legendary.
Live loud and stay legendary. Oh, damn, that's live. Okay. Now look. Okay, let me see if I can come up with something. No, what is something that I tell myself? Dang, I don't have no dope hashtag right now, right off top, or no phrase.
Okay, is there then maybe just a quote that inspires you?
A quote that inspires me. Um, let's see. Well, you know what? I'm gonna bring it back into the cipher. What I told you, my mom said, and that's gonna be my reminder for today. Do things
Hmm.
with style and grace. That's gonna be my call to action, my takeaway, many takeaways from this. Being in this space
Yes, yes.
working with you today. Like, what can I do in my life more with style and grace? So yeah, that'll be it.
Y'all better get y'all style and grace together. Y'all heard y'all heard it from Daphney Thomas. Hey, listen, Daphne, it's 3 o'clock. Thank you so much. You are amplifying voices, nurturing talent, you're uplifting the community. I heard good things about you. I'm thoroughly impressed, and I'm never impressed. Uh, I'm just like that. I'm never impressed, but I'm impressed. I like what you're doing. I'm excited to learn a lot more about what you're doing. If I'm not already following the gram, I'm going to make sure I'm going to start following you on the gram. Thank you so much for doing this, taking the time out of your day. I know how hard it is out here doing everything and building something from the ground up. You're doing great things, and I wish you nothing but success. And then sometime soon, within the next couple months, we're going to see you in person. I'm going to show up to one of your events, and we get to chop it up in person. And then maybe I do a couple of little extra photo opportunities for some content, and then it'll be like a follow-up to this episode. What you think?
Yes. Oh, that sounds wonderful. And thank you so much for sharing your space, having these wonderful, wonderful questions, and taking Valentino up on his suggestion. And yeah, just
We
being
building. We
just for
building.
everybody else you've had on your platform as well. Like it says
Yeah.
a lot about who you are, being able to share and help amplify the voices of people that are doing work in the community and in the world as well. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to do. Excuse me. That's what I'm doing. One of my clients tells me, stop saying you trying, you doing. So that's what I'm doing. And again, as long as we can keep making these connections and building these bridges, and it's not about even profit. It's just about helping cultivate our community, helping cultivate our youth, and continuing to passion and thrive, and to make sure that we're okay in our headspaces. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's been a pleasure talking with you. It really has. I know you got to get on with your day, but ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, if it's the morning, the afternoon, the night, 3 a.m., if you can't sleep, you're a workaholic like us two are. Thank you for tuning in to Music Therapy and Motivation. My special guest today was Miss Daphney Thomas. Is it Miss or Mrs. Daphney Thomas?
Miss.
Miss Daphney Thomas. Okay, I don't want to put nothing on you. But thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. This has been awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a
All
wonderful.
right. Yo, if you enjoyed this episode, you gotta check out this next video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You'll be the first to get all the new content, all the new motivational content, all the new music, and all the behind the scenes footage. You'll be the first to know what's going on. This is Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. I want you to get activated,